And set this reading for June 11th, 2025. It's a full moon. Let's see what we get. Mhm. Hmm. Looks like there's something going on with monitors or something with I'm seeing that's interesting. No. Eh, Something about lighting. I'm seeing the light and sun behind pyramids or pyramidal structures. Feel like it's an awareness of something, awareness of the past. I'm also seeing, yeah, lots more pyramid. Feel like there's something about five images. One, two, three, but just five images walking as if it's like a movie coming in this way. And they're kind of, it's like there's this feeling of spreading out. Still seeing the pyramids. Koi fish, I feel like there's fish wanting to come out. I don't know if it's fish or whale. She's swimming. Seeing some sort of like statue-like figure or someone in stillness and like on their knee, not on their knees. They're kind of like sitting with their feet underneath them. But it feels like it's behind walls or it's in front of walls or beside walls. I'm seeing some kind of serpent or cobra. Something about a planet as well. I'm seeing a ringed planet. You know what that is? Feel like there's something about like a movement, a fast movement. I don't know if it's a comment or something like that, but it's like the planet is moving quite fast. More serpents. I'm seeing another serpent here, but it looks more like an alligator kind of serpent. Feels like it's moving towards clockwise. It's moving clockwise, or at least it's heading this way. It looks kind of like a brachiosaurus with a head. Seeing someone wearing an apron of some sort, or like a dress with a spaghetti strap. I don't know if it's because it's the summer or something like that. I feel like there's an image of somewhere like something wearing or hanging at least like apron. I'm thinking apron strings. Some probably some message of like hanging things. If you take that as a message, however you take it, that's going to be the message for you. Hmm. Oh, I'm seeing some kind of like I don't know if it's a hall or some kind like a. It looks kind of like a hall, like a parliamentary building or something like that. Seeing that, but it feels like it's being shown. There's light around it, and the top is not being shown. So I think there's something about hiding. Then I'm also seeing it's almost like the top of a pyramid or just staircase, and there's light on top. It's almost like there's this, I don't know if it's a place of worship or something like that. Or offering is being made. I'm seeing some kind of like a hospital bed, but there's like light at the bottom of it. Could be like a tanning bed of some sort. I don't know if people are planning to do any of this stuff. Again, however you see that. Could be like just beddings, like beds, people lying down. I'm only seeing one, as if it's almost like in a museum, like a mummy, like a sort of like artifact museum, an archaeological museum or a history museum. Yeah, I'm seeing this sort of like bed that's surrounded by like things poking out on the side, like surrounding it. Almost reminds me of like a crib of some sort. Oh, that's interesting. Kind of like a Colosseum. I'm seeing kind of Colosseum area. Something about this. I don't know what this is. Seeing the return of, I don't know if it's a dragon or it's like dinosaurs. It's like a huge creature just coming out, and there are something, but there's also like something else, like different creatures coming out. It almost looks bacterial, but it's not. It's kind of like that fish that has its side that goes like this, it goes like this on the side. It kind of reminds me of like a ray of some sort. Not a stingray, but it's like this, it's moving. But it looks kind of, it could be small, kind of teardrop shape, not teardrop shape, like oval shape, like eye shape, like this. Think about this thunder like sign like this, goes like this. I don't know what that is. Genie number four as well. Seeing like a houses, kind of like a, what do you call those houses? It's kind of like a residential house, like it's like only like about 4 floors or 3 floors. It's kind of like not a mansion, not a, what do you call this, like a boarding school of some kind. It's kind of looks very like it's a big, huge, it's a building that looks like a huge house, right? But it's not fancy. It's just one. There's no garage here. There's nothing. There's just the building itself. That makes sense. It's kind of beigey, peachy sort of color. Beige, more beige than anything. I feel like I'm getting this whole feeling of like greens. I feel like it's something on TV. Some of them like greeneries, greens, vegetation. Glasses? I'm seeing glasses or something. It's rectangular. Seeing a hand that goes like this is kind of like saying stop. It's like there's almost like a fist and then there's another hand that goes stop. But I'm also seeing like a heart pumping. I feel like it's the heartbeat, something about the heart. Weasel. Seeing a weasel. I get a lot of animals when I do hydromancy. So this is letting you know. Then I'm also seeing a ram. Seems like the ram where the horn goes to the side like this. Kind of flat, so it's not, it's not to the side, sort of flat. I don't know if this is like old style trains, but I'm seeing kind of a train. Oh, then I'm seeing like old sort of buildings, like kind of like university buildings. Kind of reminds me of University of Oxford, kind of. Not, I've never been there before, but I've seen the buildings on the internet. It kind of reminds me of that, but it's like that style, like post-Gothic style, pointed. Or maybe it is Gothic, but it's less pointy. No, the ships are here. The ships are here. Um, they're already up in there. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this one that's kind of like there's a ring around it. It's not just round, but there's a ring around it. Kind of looks like a diamond. Not diamond, like a this in shape. A bit flatter on the top and the bottom is that. Oh, and is this a rodent of some sort? It looks like kind of like a rodent with long tail. Doesn't look like a mouse, but it's a small mammal. It kind of reminds me now of a chameleon. Chameleon, chameleon. Yeah, I'm hearing the word chameleon. So that's, yeah, to confirm that. Mm. Hearing the word justice. I'm hearing the word justice. So I probably would have got the word, the building, the parliamentary building was something about justice or something like that, or it's something with the systems. You know, like a truck of some sort, like delivery, like a big truck of some sort, like a white truck. It plain, like the big, you can see the freight box, that thing, and then there's a truck itself. So they're very plain. It's like bluish black truck, and then the freight itself, the container, what do you call that? It's just white. Seeing fences being built, feel like there's some sort of fences being built, but it's indoors. I feel like it's in a sort of like white walled building, but there's a sort of a passageway. There's a sort of a gate of some sort. Some sort of tribal mask. It's very kind of like wooden. Something in this symbol here, like it kind of reminds me of the Eye of Ra. It's just kind of like carved. I feel like this is like Angkor Wat. Reminds me of Angkor Wat, but it's like a tribal mask. It could be like a big building with that, like big statue monument made out of that, but it's in a meditative state. I'm seeing fighter jets or something, something pointed, either that or a narwhal, something like that pointed, something pointed. Like I'm seeing either like a gun or something that's very pointed. It could be a sword of some sort. Seeing clamps of some sort of clamps, either that or crabs or something like pincers. something being given, something being given. Someone is giving something, someone's offering something. It's going like this. Then again, I also see something like sort of like a dragon-like figure coming towards the sun. Something is approaching. Something to do with the bridge. Seeing like kind of like a bridge here. Doesn't look like the San Francisco, like the Golden Gate, but it kind of has a very tall at the bottom. You can see it's very clear. How do I describe it? Some sort of bridge. Yeah, and more bridges. But I feel like this one is like sort of there's glass, clear glass, like very thin frame, kind of like arches. I don't know how to describe it. It's like it looks like this, and then there's, but it's like glass. I don't know if this is something being built or something like that, but it's framed. It's framed first. It's almost like you don't see the glass there anymore, but there is glass. I'm feeling glass there. Either that, or it's kind of like a part of what looks like the Colosseum. You know how there's those arches on the side like that? I'm seeing that. Something about the Colosseum. And which is second time I got that. Is there something in the Colosseum? Hmm. Yeah. Hanukkah? The candle? That thing? Getting that, or also cups. I'm seeing cups are like sort of like not goblets, kind of like made out of it's sort of like plastic, but it kind of feels like selenite, the stone selenite. It's kind of like that. It's very almost translucent, but it's not. I'm seeing cups of some sort. They're in threes or some sort. Let's see what we get through the one. I'm gonna agitate the water and see what we get. Hmm, okay. So I'm seeing some sort of like tent. I'm seeing this image of a tent. But it's high up. It's like the tent is on top of something. It's like it's almost like a pavilion of some sort. But I'm also seeing this figure with like a pointed, kind of like almost looks like a snake with a parakeet thing on top. And I'm seeing the crab pincers again. I'm seeing also like fire. It's almost like I'm seeing the trident. There's a trident figure here. There's an image about the seas and the trident and the crab, something like that. So a lot of light language coming through. I don't know what it is. I'll share with you guys what I can find. Um, let's see what I get here. Okay, you can also be part of this one if you want to. Just letting you know that when I'm reading this stuff, it is actually just what I see is what I see. So let's see. Okay. Okay. Maybe I won't be able to share it. That's totally fine. Okay, let's see what we get anyways. And it's like there's a lot of like language stuff. Oh, okay, it's coming through. But I'm also seeing, I'm seeing what is this like a, some sort of like woman who's kind of like has no arms. I'm seeing like glaciers. There's something about glaciers. Again, I'm seeing a far like pyramid image there, but it feels like it's sort of like a diamond-like area city. I feel like there's something about a story about Diamond City. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. There's a lot of light language stuff here. I can't read that yet. There's a figure with very dotted eyes, very small eyes. Kind of reminds you of an octopus with a big round head. Mm. I'm also seeing like I don't know what it is. It's like a high-tech technology where it's like it's very much above ground, but it's kind of like in a rail, but it's like one rail. It's not, you know how when you have a train that's rail like this, it only has one at that, and it's flying through that. Or light language. I'm getting a twitch already. Something masculine is coming through. And I usually get to the left or something. Sometimes there's masculine. It goes this side to my left, right? So, um, oh, an image came through. I see a man with the I don't know if he has a hook or something. There's a question mark beside him, but he kind of looks like, is it Fidel Ramos? Fidel Castro. He kind of looks like this Mexican or like sort of Central American figure. You see in the picture, I think in the second one, in the second image. I'm seeing a figure of a woman going like this and holding her hand like this as if she's protecting herself. Lots of water, like not just water, yes, it is water, but I'm seeing some sort of swan. The water's let's see, it's almost like there's three lights coming through. I don't know what it is. Something about the threes again. Number three's coming up again. I'm gonna keep going. I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm getting this message. Light at the end of the tunnel. Someone's walking through it. But it looks like a sort of an astronaut, man, like an astronaut helmet coming through with the light at the end of the tunnel. And also the kind of a young child, kind of like a very, he's kind of body like the she has the kind of round cheeks, kind of flat hair, kind of like a 70s look. Okay. He's not very, it's almost like he's in some sort of like, not pain per se, but he's kind of disappointed. He's like, "Ooh," he's kind of grumpy. Hmm. I don't know if this is a bullet train or rockets or something about trains. Something about this modern train. It's kind of like a top is like black and there's gray. And then the side is kind of like blue stuff on the side. Could be like it's propellers or something like that. But it looks kind of like a very fast train, a new kind of technology that's coming through. Or somewhere where that train already exists. There's there's three figures that are being talked to by a female. I feel like they're kind of like in a higher position. It looks like Thailand. There's a figure beside them, a female figure. I think she's pregnant, and she's kind of asking them certain questions, like what should I do? And they're kind of like it reminds you of the Fates. Something about snouts. I'm feeling a snout kind of like a pig. Either that or like a really big, like a bulldog. The bulldog is like with a big, huge snout, small ears. Very cute, actually. Kind of like a Doberman as well. I feel like it's on guard. Yeah, it's guarding some. There's guarding some sort of guarding. Hands being washed or something like that. There's hands being dipped or washed or something like that. Either that or pepper shakes or salt and pepper shakes or something about shaking. I'm seeing the word YDM. The YDM. You could take that and know what that is. Something about like this ball. If you think of Atlas Cairn, the globe or the sky, it's like a ball. Kind of looks like a globe. Like when you have in classrooms, you have a globe, and it's on top of some sort of thing. But I feel like it's an observatory, like a telescope, an observatory of some sort. There's something feels like it being sucked in. There's something about being sucked in. So I feel like there's something being drawn in or manipulated or sucked in or there's an allure of some sort. Seen some kind of explosions, like it's I don't know if it's steam or something like that. It could be volcanic, but it kind of feels water-like. I mean, this is water, but I mean, it feels like more like steam coming. It looks like the underground vents in the oceans. Something about a case. I'm feeling there's a case here. I don't know if it's a timer, like a time bomb. I feel like there's something about a time bomb. Something about feeling like counting down or counting up, or so it feels like time's up. Feels like that there's a high tower of some sort, like it reminds you of the Lord of the Rings, a tower, and there's someone up there, and someone is a wizard, kind of like a strong wizard figure, white hair, kind of like a very specifically shaped hat. Kind of looks like Merlin. He's going like this, and he's kind of has a sphere, or so it's like a sort of staff. He's pointing up, and he has this. It's kind of like spread out, like his hair is kind of. It's not, it's not. It doesn't. It's against gravity, and he's kind of pointing up, like as if there's a message or something like that. Think about the castles. I don't know. I'm seeing a castle here. But there's a castle and then there's a railway in front of it, or there's a kind of like a bridge crossing it towards that castle. Either that or it's on the columns. It could be also like an ancient site or some sort of like where there's columns. Like it's kind of like a road. It kind of goes up. There's a staircase of some sort, or it's part of a road of some sort. But it looks like there's a path going this way. I don't know what this is. It kind of looks like a seahorse. And then there's another snake here, but it looks like a seahorse. I don't know what that is. Very strange. Ouroboros, of course, is here. There's another image of Ouroboros, but it's like eating of itself, like recycling. I feel like there's recycling going on as well. But I feel like there's two eyes in front, and they're kind of looking straight at me, as if it's sort of like, and it's kind of cross-eyed. So I guess if you're cross-eyed, you can't see. I don't know if that's the message. Okay, then I'm seeing this building. It's like how you have the arch of a building and there's guards on the side here, but it's like kind of like a port, it's like a port to an old ship or some kind of sailing going on here. There's like statues here, or there are guards here. They're guarding it. It almost looks like a huge vase of some sort. It looks like a fish vase. Fish vase is shaped like a fish with a lid on it. Something is kind of being transported or something. But there is from this distance, there is a ship. There's also a child looking in, kind of like lying. The mother's like this, and the child is like facing the other opposite direction. But it almost looks like it's a hybrid. It's not a really child. It's kind of like a small puppy with no ears. The ears are very humanoid-like. It's on the very side, not on top. It's very interesting. It's like a small snout. Um, and the mother's like on the side. But then I'm also seeing that the mother is like you're seeing kind of like a horse figure on top of her. It's like looking and saying it's like there's something about care. I'm hearing the word care. Oh, what is this one? I'm seeing something about a figure with like huge hood, like it is kind of like a hood, but it's like not part of the jacket. It's like a hood. It's like dark blue, great blue, navy blue kind of jacket. And then behind them, it's kind of like a tent. It's almost like, but they're out there. They don't want to be inside. Okay. Yeah, and something about the hand. There's something about putting the hand down. There's something about it. It's like a maroon red sort of container or some kind of not oval, but kind of like squarish oval. Like it's kind of like a glass container, like for your glasses. I'm seeing images here. It's almost like they want to type something in, but it's like weird. Is that 24 or 21? The last image here. Like in second last image. What is this? Mongolia? Like kind of like that Russian hat. Someone with that, with glasses on, like kind of like in the North or Arctic sort of feel. Like feel like it's in the cold somewhere. In the forest or deep dark forest or somewhere. Probably northern Russia. Either that or Mongolia, northern Mongolia, or the Manchurians. It kind of reminds me of Manchurian region in northeastern China. More buildings, like, okay, this looks like, oh, that's very interesting. It kind of, first I was thinking like Hagia Sophia in Turkey, but then it's weird. It's like this building that's like, there's like, it's stacked up, like there's one, two, three, and there's one on the side your column, and then there's something supporting it. But it's very odd looking, and it's like spherical, another ship. Oh, the Sphinx, or something cat-like. Like the cat-like images I'm seeing is just like sort of blue face, black fur, but the back half of the other back is orange. Kind of so it reminds you of the Sphinx. The first thing came up with Sphinx. And seeing a skull figure as well on beside it. Um, but it also kind of looks like a teddy bear. That's interesting. I feel like a lot of the stuff today is I'm hearing care, care, care. Seeing a lot of images that are some sort of like little sprites or images. Oh, I'm seeing someone with a father-like figure with long hair. He's already has white hair. He's kind of supporting his son, and his son is kind of just like like this, kind of doing this, but he's kind of supporting him. He's doing everything he can. It's almost like he's there, but it doesn't feel like he's happy. It's almost like he's a servant because he's kind of bowed down, but he's happy. So I don't know if it's a servant of some sort, a centaur. Interesting, a centaur, but it doesn't kind of look, it kind of looks like a centaur, but there's a rabbit on top of it. Very interesting. Oh, looks like a kind of like a vacation spot. I don't know, is it is just like a um beautifully drawn curtain. It's almost like the curtain you have here on surrounding the bed, but in this case, it's kind of surrounding the room. It's on the corners of the room, and there's like comfy cushion and on top, like if the couch is full of cotton or something like that. It's very, very relaxing. So I feel like that's the message. Okay, yeah. Some sort of, oh, okay. It's almost like a release. It's like a part of like a satellite, or when the rockets are launched and the top part comes off. But it looks kind of like a jellyfish sort of shape thing, like this, like that. It could be something that's landing or something about space exploration. I don't know. But I'm also seeing like a dog kennel. It looks like a dog kennel. It's kind of shaped like a hexagon, like this. I don't know if there's anything in it. Yes, there is. It's like two people. One is sitting on top of the other's lap. They're kind of looking as if it's like an actual painting of some sort. It's like they could be like a feeling of being trapped. I'm also seeing here an image of um someone who's looking forward. He's kind of going like this. He has a kind of a stash. So almost like this sort of like there's a competition. I'm feeling competition. He's like, you want to fight kind of thing. So I feel like there's this image of this feeling of, yeah, there's some fighting, like competition. Some kind of factory smoke or something like, I don't know, it's volcanic or something like that. Something volcanic like this. But it again, it feels more like steam. More ships, another ship coming through. This time it's kind of looks a little flatter. It's still rounded at the top like this. Almost spherical, but it's kind of more looks more like a dirigible is what they call it, like the that thing that flies up. It's like not air balloon, but you know what I'm saying, like a dirigible. It's like the thing that flies up there. It runs on both air and there's like at the bottom there's the people. That's where people are. I'm seeing a sort of a bird with a small beak, and it's kind of like fluffy. It kind of looks like a cartoon character, like a blue jay. Kind of reminds me of a blue jay. Okay, so that's what I'm getting so far. So those are the messages for this one. I hope that was insightful or so, yeah. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually share the images with you so you can see it. Actually, I'm going to share it near the end of this video. Okay. But in any case, thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please comment down below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys later.